Welcome. I'm super happy to have you here. This is going to be the most important video in this whole classroom. This video right here, if you do what I'm telling you, I swear to God, I am so confident, I am certain that if you do this as I explain it to you, you will manifest and you will attract your dream partner. Okay? I've done this 3 times. Third time's a charm, and it's incredible how this works. I'm going to tell you very simply how this works, and then I'm going to break it down for you. You are going to have a very clear idea of who you want. You have to be crystal clear. It's going to take you a little bit of time to get to that clarity of finding out who you actually want to spend the rest of your life with. But once you have that clarity, you are then going to be real with yourself and ask yourself if that person would want to be with you, if that person mirrors you, if that person would be attracted to you. And they will be. They will be. You just have to have that shift in mindset, shift in behavior, shift in consciousness to attract them. Because you can only really attract somebody that's of a similar vibrational state than you are. And you know the kind of person you want, but you just need to sit down and ask yourself deep within, am I that as well? Usually, you will attract somebody if you're in a very negative state of mind that also has a negative state of mind. If you are someone who has high insecurity, you will attract somebody that either also has high levels of insecurity or gives you a lot of attention because that's what you lacked. So this whole process is going to be one of self-awareness. And my goal in this community is to increase your levels of self-awareness to ultimately make sure that you're good, whether or not that person is there at that moment, that partner that you want is there. You are a whole being. You are a full, complete circle. You are perfect the way you are. And I'm telling you, honestly, you are perfect. I had to convince myself that I was. And now I know that I am perfect. I'm a human being. If you're a human being, you're perfect. We have flaws, but that's part about being a human being, okay? Okay, so now that I did that intro, appreciate you um, being patient with me there. Let me give you the exercise. I like to use paper because when I see something and when I write it, it's more clear in my head and it's out of my head and I get to see it every day. And I recommend you do this too. Okay? You know what? Before that, let me even convince you a little bit more that this works. When I was about 19 years old or 20, I just had a year off of mm, high school. So I finished high school. I didn't do good in school. I barely ever read books. I wasn't social. I didn't have any of the skills that I wanted to. I didn't really attract any women, to be honest with you. And then what I did was I made a decision after high school that I'm going to take a year off. Although my parents advised me to go to university, I couldn't even get accepted for university. I couldn't even get accepted for most colleges. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just take a year off, make some money, build some skills, learn some things, read some books. So I decided the kind of person I wanted to be. I wanted to be social. I wanted to make a little bit of money. I wanted to dress nice. And I wanted to attract good looking women, as a lot of guys do. So I went from being kind of like a loser in high school with a couple of friends, but never any deep connections with people, to reading a book every day, going to work full time in a call center, which was the most scariest thing in the world for me because every day I'm meeting new people and speaking to new people on the phone. So it pushed me out of my comfort zone so hard. I didn't even have a choice but to grow. I did that on purpose. And so every day I would take the bus to work because I didn't have a car. And I remember the first book that I read at that point was How to Win Friends and Influence People. I searched best books to learn how to connect, best books to make friends. And that was like number one on so many lists. So I took that book, and in the first page it said, make sure you read this book step by step, applying each principle. Once you understand the principle, go to the next one. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to follow it just how it says. And I remember the first day going to work in the morning, it was like 7 a.m. And I'm reading this book and I'm like falling asleep because I've never read books before. I couldn't do it. And I'm like, oh my God. So I read like one page. Whatever it said, I applied it. It was something like pay close attention to somebody, listen to them as if you actually care, listen more than you speak. And so through time in that year, really, like, I worked there for 2 years. Every day I was meeting somebody new. Every day I was very conscious of how people perceived me. Because I started dressing nicer, people started looking at me as if I was someone greater than what I was. And I was only 19 or 20, but people were like, "You're 20 years old? Oh my goodness. Like, wow, you dress so nice, or you carry yourself in a certain manner." And for me, that was strange, but I never made a big deal out of it. I was like, interesting. And I just took it all as feedback. And I applied these principles in the book, and I swear to God, my ability to connect with people was crazy. I was making friends with everybody. Everybody knew me in that call center. I finally became popular in the call center. I know I'm going on a tangent, but I promise this you're going to understand what I'm getting to at this point. So, anyways, built myself that year. Okay. Invested a lot into myself. Didn't really focus on anybody else. And through that, I met a couple of people, right? I made some friends. Some girls showed some interest, but it was nothing ever crazy. And I forced myself to ask some girls out. So we went on a couple of dates here and there with different girls. And because my status was higher in the call center, because people knew me, I was kind of popular, it was easier for girls to be attracted to me, right? Anyways, when I decided to go to school, I was like, okay, what's the best way to do this? I had to take a transfer, and I decided I'm going to go to college first and then go to university after. When I enrolled in that college in Toronto, I told myself, all right, this is time to focus. You didn't do good in high school, you're going to kill it in college. I'm going to get the best grades I can. I'm going to make sure that I get grades so good that I'm going to go to university. Because of that, I don't want to focus on girls at all. I've had some luck with girls. Some of them show interest now. I'm dressing a little nicer. Whatever happens, I am not going to be with any girls, date any girls. But I did something very interesting. I said the only way I would ever even consider being with a girl is if she has these qualities. And I swear I remember thinking this. She's got to be really attractive. At that point, I was very attracted to light-skinned girls, so half black, half white, because that was just my type at the time. I'm like, I want her to have really tight curls, like the big hair curls. I want her to be very pretty. I want her to be someone of class, someone of character, be interesting, really interesting, like unique, because I've always been a unique kind of person. I never wanted to fit in with anybody else. She had to have a really nice bum and a nice body, because it's just like my type. She's got to be a little bit petite, you know? I'm not the tallest guy in the world, so someone that's petite that compliments me nicely. And she's got to be smart. And so I told myself that is the only way I would even consider being with a girl. But I completely let go. I'm like, I don't want it. Keep it away from me. But you see, that thing was in the back of my mind. Swear to God. First official class, right? We went there for orientation, whatever. It was a nice school. I was dressed pretty nice, had my backpack on, psychology class, Psych 101, for my first ever psychology class I've ever taken. I'm outside of the class with a guy that I met in orientation named Ryan, some guy from Montreal, some Italian guy. We're just chatting. I look outside the classroom as we're waiting. Who do I see? Light skinned girl, tight curls, black and white skirt, nice bum, pretty, light skin. And I was just like, holy shit. And I looked at Ryan, I'm like, dude, like that girl, like, she's got to be mine. Like, I want her. It was so crazy. In that moment, I'm like, what is going on? I was actually kind of shocked. She was with another guy, but within a week, I found out that she liked me. and I liked her, and we started dating, and we dated for 3 years. Sure, I'm not married with her, but that's besides the point. I'm going to give you another example, okay? And I'm just reinforcing this point so you can believe me here. Dated her for 3 years. After that, I'm like, I'm going to focus on myself. I was in a relationship for 3 years in my early 20s. I need to focus on myself. I need to do my own thing. I need to build myself. This is about a couple months or maybe like a year after that relationship ended. Me and a couple of friends, cousins, we decided to go on a trip to Cuba, all inclusive. Okay. In a place called Holguin, random place. We went, it was like a bunch of old people there. Anyways, one of my cousins, she's a girl. So at that time, I was like, I don't want anybody. I don't want anybody. I don't, no matter who I meet here, even if I have fun, I'm just here to have fun. That's it. That's the energy I put out. Get there. And at that time, I didn't even really have a clear idea of who I wanted, to be honest with you. I just let go, surrendered to the universe. And we're walking. I remember it's me, um, my cousin who's a girl, her boyfriend, and my other cousin who's a guy. Great crew. Energy was great. We're walking, first day, evening in the lobby, and I see this one girl, very pretty. I was instantly drawn to her. She was sitting by herself. I'm like, wow. And I think I might have made a comment, but I looked back and I was like, interesting. Well, she must have a boyfriend, right? There's girls like that, they're not going to be here by themselves. Anyways, I think a day goes on, or like another day happens. It's like the second or third day or second night. We're at the bar and we're kind of popular now. We have a little group, we have a couple of friends that we've made. We're at the disco and we're partying. I'm having a good time, and there's different girls. I'm kind of dancing, whatever. I'm kind of tipsy. And then I see that girl again, and she's sitting by herself again in the back of the disco by herself smoking a cigarette. Like, I didn't hesitate at that point. I just walked right up to her. And then I was like, first of all, why aren't you dancing? Second of all, you're too pretty to be smoking a cigarette. So I took her cigarette and I threw it away, and we started dancing. And I immediately felt so drawn to her. I felt like she was so special. I felt like she didn't really, she was kind of like, what? Like, who are you? And then I'm like, who are you with? She's like, nobody. I'm like, you're by yourself. She's like, yes. And she had an interesting way of speaking. And now that I think of it, before that, when I was around 21, I actually went to Russia for a few months to teach English. And I was very drawn to Russian women, extremely drawn to them. And I told myself it'd be nice to be with a Russian woman. And believe it or not, I'm just thinking about this right now. I'm like, I wish I could meet a woman that is so unique and has a certain kind of personality and a certain kind of culture that I can integrate with into their life and learn some stuff about them, because my family, my community is so cool and I love my culture, but I'd love to be with like maybe like a white girl or like a different culture, meet her parents. I'm just thinking about this right now. Take this in, okay? Believe me when I'm telling you this. And so I had that in the back of my mind, but again, I let go. I get there and I speak to her. She has an accent. I'm like, where are you from? She's like, Montreal. We're in Cuba. I'm from Toronto. She's from Montreal, 5 hours drive away from me. I'm like, wow, really? I'm like, what's your background? She says Russian and Polish. Here we go again. We dated for another 3 years. It's crazy, guys. So, to the exercise. It's a 15-minute intro and a couple of stories, but to hammer my point that if you do this and you believe in what I'm saying and you just listen to me and you trust me, it will work. You're gonna take a piece of paper, okay? You're going to make a line down the piece of paper. Grab your favorite pen. This pen kind of sucks. Somebody use a different one here. Okay. This is my favorite pen, Fairmont. Beautiful. On the top left, right? Top left. I'm gonna write her. You're going to write him, unless, you're into women, you're going to write her as well. Because you're not going to write ideal partner. It's just her. It's the person that you want to be with, okay? Make it light. And you're going to write every single thing, okay? For me, for example, the beginning of this year when I decided to take my dating life serious again, prioritize my dating life, because I didn't. Since my last relationship, I did not focus on it. I needed time to really figure out who I was, figure out what I wanted, and waited till I was ready to actually be in a relationship with somebody, to grow with somebody. Okay? Now I'm ready. I'm ready now. And so what I did was I'll give you an example of what I wrote. A high consciousness, self-aware, beautiful, calm, intelligent, unique. Like I had all these qualities in mind, listed these qualities. I even had an age range that would be like ideal, height range, what she looked like, how she behaved, demure. I love demure women, women that are not loud, or like women that are good listeners, that are calm in their presence, that don't need to always be doing something, not high maintenance. I was very, very clear, and I wrote that down, okay? And I want you to write this down as well. Think about the intangibles. How do they behave? How are they with their parents? How are they with themselves? How do they treat themselves? How do they look at themselves? What values are important for them? Be very, very clear about that. The more clear you can become, the better it is. Trust me, you might be thinking, if I write it too specifically, it's never going to work. But you shoot for the moon and you aim for this and you land on the stars, okay? Once you do that, once you get so freaking clear with who the person is, like you can paint the picture in your mind, you can see them, you have like a rough estimation of what they look like and how they behave. Now you think, how are they going to treat me? How do they look at me? Do they respect me? Do they love me? Do they adore me? As a woman, you probably want someone to make you feel secure, safe, good, excited, happy, whatever feelings you want to feel. Think about that, okay? And just write those down. Don't limit yourself. And then when you look at the other side of the page, right? When you write this person down on the other side of the page, who is that person attracted to? If you think about yourself now, would they be attracted to you now? Be honest with yourself. If it is yes, great. If it's no, okay. It's time to do some work here. That's why we're here. If you want a super high consciousness person, you got to be high consciousness, because the world is a mirror. People are mirrors. Everything in life will mirror back what you are. Your attitude towards yourself determines your attitude towards the world. Okay? This is heavy stuff, man. This is great. I'm so excited for you guys right now. So, you have that information, you have what you want to become. You might have to, for you to attract, like for me to attract this woman, I had to increase my levels of consciousness. I knew I had to. I knew I had to look a certain way because I want her to be very fit, like very fit. I wanted a woman that when she walks in a room with me, people are like, holy shit, who is this girl and who is this guy? And so for me, in order to attract that woman naturally, not with my money or not with anything else, I had to become that person. So in January of this year, I did not look how I look now. Sure, I'm not the most attractive guy in the whole world, but I look good without a shirt on or with clothes on because I've worked at this very clearly. And it wasn't difficult for me to get here because when I thought about this woman, I thought about who I wanted, I thought about what I needed to look like, I started to adapt the behaviors of the version of me that looks like this. And now I just do that. I go to the gym and I can't wait to skip rope. I did high rocks recently. I don't do those things, but I just did it because it felt natural to me. You want a masculine man. What kind of woman is a masculine man attracted to? A very feminine woman. So start to adopt the feminine characteristics that are inside of you. Bring those out naturally. He is going to be attracted to that. You do this, you write down the clear description of her, you write down who you are now, because it's not like I am going to be this person. No, it's like this is who I am now. And what you do, right? What I did rip the paper. Okay? Put it right beside my bed. Some days I would even carry it in my pocket. And I did this with two other goals too. With my social media, I decided how big I wanted my social media to get. And I didn't even know I would be talking about this stuff in the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, I was talking about health for CEOs and entrepreneurs, because that's who I was coaching. But the world will start to give you signs and breadcrumbs. You just got to follow it. Follow your instincts. As a woman, your instincts are way more powerful than a man's instincts. But if you can listen to it and get better at that connection, God, the universe, yourself will start to pull you towards a direction. And once you know what this is and you've let go, you're going to just miraculously meet up with this person. Swear to God. That's how it happens. That's how it always happens. Sometimes it's on an app, but that's fine too, right? Okay. What you do is now, every morning you wake up, you read it, you read everything. You're like, okay, I got to be like this. I want her to be like that. You close your eyes and you think, okay, you think about meeting this person. How would you feel? How do I feel now that I've met her? Oh, she's great. I'm hugging her. She feels so good. For you, you're with him. He makes you feel safe. Think about that. Spend time already at that point. You don't have to wait till you get there to feel like that. Because once you feel like that right now, your consciousness levels will rise, your vibrations will rise, and you will attract that person naturally. Does that make sense? This will also motivate you to do the things that you know you need to do, to be consistent, to be kind, to be grateful, to go to the gym. It's the easiest way. As a coach, I can tell you go to the gym, and that might work, but my goal is to make you want to go to the gym. Okay? This video is getting long, but I hope it's valuable for you. And I hope my computer can hold this space. um, the next step above this, if you want to really make sure that these results happen, start to tell the people that you love and trust, like the people that are really close to you. For me, I started telling people that I felt like we have a good connection and people that understand me from a deeper level, like people that are really close to you, like my brother, my cousins that are girls, my mom. I told everyone, I'm like, listen, this is the kind of woman I'm looking for. If you know anybody that would be a good fit, then let them know. Like, connect us. Don't be shy, right? Because they're going to speak well on behalf of you, and it's probably going to work. It increases your chances. You're putting it out into the universe. I think of it as planting seeds. Okay. And so what happened here? I'm going to give you the last story of the day. I did this January 2025, the beginning of this year, and I read this every morning and every night. I tried my best to be consistent with it, and I spent time thinking about it, and I went to the gym hundreds of times, and I ate the way I was supposed to, and I did all the things that I was supposed to. I met somebody. I met somebody, the third person that I'm really, really excited about. And I'm telling you right now, she might be the one. I don't know. I have no expectations. I don't expect anything from her, but she checks off literally every single one of my boxes. How crazy is that? Because although you have this clear idea of what you want, you're not you're not like, when is this going to happen? You let go of the when and you let go of the how. You just think about the what. Okay? That's it. If you do this, please listen to me. If you do this, you will meet him, you will achieve those goals, you will attract and manifest the kind of life that you actually want. But you cannot believe it. You have to know it. You have to be certain of it. I had certainty. I had certainty that I'm going to meet a woman like this. I can't wait for her to meet my family. I can't wait to meet her family. Hopefully, one day we'll have kids. All of these things, I had certainty. I had to convince myself. But now I'm convinced. Now it's like, I'd be I'd be a jerk not to reveal these secrets to you. And it's not even a secret. All the books speak about it. The Kabbalah, Bible, the Quran. What do you think prayer is? Prayer is visualization with belief, emotional belief. Okay? So please do this exercise. If you have any questions about how to do this, if you want to hop on a call with me so I can explain it to you, let me know. But I wish you the best of luck, and I'm very excited for you to try this. Okay? Have a fantastic day.